Abstract, 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 abstract. That is the whole genre of today's video. Nothing else, just abstract. So if you're not looking to learn about what could be the hottest ecosystem or soon to be the hottest ecosystem in crypto right now, then jump off of this video. But if you want to hear about abstract, this is probably the best video that you can watch, because I'm going to break down why it's not just a good opportunity for someone jumping into crypto, wanting to play around with the ecosystem, but also a builder. As a little bit of context before we get into the video, I'm Jacob Block. I'm the founder of Magnet, which is Web3's growth engine. Been growing projects in this space for a long time now. So I like to think that I've got a little bit of an eye in when it comes to spotting an ecosystem that has huge amounts of growth potential. And I see just that with abstract. And this video is going to explain exactly why. Let's get into it. The first part of this video is why you should be on abstract right now. Reason one is that the liquidity on abstract right now is minuscule compared to other chains like Solana and Ethereum. I'm not saying that the reason is because abstract has huge liquidity, because right now it doesn't. But to me, this is an opportunity, because when you compare abstract's performance and how much they're being spoken about, the liquidity on abstract is minimal. There hasn't been this huge uproar in liquidity moving to abstract yet. And I think, and this is my opinion, that that will happen in time. So any of the assets on abstract, either created now or created in the future, could get a real boost behind them just by the trend of abstract gaining more and more liquidity, which we're yet to see. So I guess the point here is that I think abstract has the potential to attract a lot of liquidity. And if it does, the difference is going to make between where abstract is now and assets on abstract compared to where it could be after the liquidity comes in will be astronomical. The second reason is that big people are talking about abstract. In the last week, we've seen some of the biggest KOLs like Ansem start shouting about how they're playing games on abstract. This is the first time that we've seen big influence start to talk about it. And we all know that Luca Netz is super connected in this space. And I think he's just waiting for the right time. You know, he's mentioned that, and the team have mentioned that abstract as what it is today is very MVP compared to what they're actually building. So they probably don't want too much hype, too much attention just yet. But we are starting to see people talk about it, that social currency get activated around abstract. But like I mentioned, I think we're very early on this. And I think there'll be a lot more social currency circulating around abstract as the team looks to kick on. The third point piggybacks off of that. The team do talk about a lot of product updates coming. Now, I play around with abstract now. I think it's extremely consumer friendly, very B2C, has the opportunity to onboard the masses, but in their eyes, this is nothing compared to what they have planned for it. So even looking at the growth potential, you've got to look at how early you are. And if they're not overly in love with the product they have right now, and they think it's nowhere near the finished product, and it's already pretty good, and it already has elements showing a product market fit in certain genres like gaming, then the future could be pretty big. Point number four, community. Abstract already has a great community. And of course, they have the Pudgy community, which is arguably the biggest community in the whole of Web3. So having such a big voice behind you is massive. And we saw it with Hyperliquid, right? They didn't pay any KOLs to go and shout about hype. The founders had distribution channels which enabled them to gain that initial awareness, which could then kick on because they created a great asset in the token, they nurtured a brilliant community, and then they saw network effects. This is growth 101 in crypto. This is the quadfecta of crypto growth. And abstract can do exactly this because they already have all of the awareness that they need through their own distribution channels like the Pudgy community. And we've already seen that this team know how to grow in crypto. They know the formula, they know the game. And therefore, it's logical because they already have that first part of growth nailed down because of this community that we'll start to see further activation out of that funnel very soon. And number five, which I can't not mention this in this video, is obviously XP and a potential airdrop. People are just starting to bridge. Liquidity is just slowly coming over onto abstract, and they have not announced that they're doing an airdrop yet. And I think anyone who's on abstract and they see the XP system, it makes so much sense to think that that's gonna be what dictates an airdrop. And abstract and Luca, they're not stupid. They know that an airdrop, announcing an airdrop, can drive all of that social currency, all of that liquidity that they want onto their chain when they feel the time is right, when they feel that their tech is up to the standard to get people participating and falling in love with Abstract. Because this is another really key thing when it comes to growing a crypto project. And that is that you can't just give away an airdrop willy-nilly, right? You have to give an airdrop to actual usage. And if that usage leads to that user being stuck in the product, in the ecosystem, then it's an airdrop well spent. And again, we saw that with Hyperliquid. People used Hyperliquid to participate in the airdrop and farm the airdrop. They realized how great the tech is, how good of a product it is, and they stayed. And they didn't just go and dump their airdrop. If anything, anyone who did dump the Hyperliquid airdrop got completely wrecked. And I think this is going to be the case with Abstract. They're going to get that kind of B2C facing application spot on. They're then going to link the airdrop and announce the airdrop and make it all around the XP side. People are going to come, they're going to love what they've built, they're going to stick in the ecosystem. This is how Abstract compete with the likes of Solana, Ethereum, Base, and all of the other big chains right now. They can't compete with billions of dollars, but they can compete with getting this right, because they can have the net effect of spending billions of dollars on growth if they get this airdrop right. Okay, so that's the first part of the video. The second part is more concentrated on why would you build on Abstract? And again, this comes from my experience as a growth hacker in crypto. What is the potential for someone who is launching a project right now? Why should they choose Abstract? We've actually had 2 projects come through our incubator program, a magnet, and we've said to both of them, Abstract is the right blockchain for you right now. It's the right ecosystem. It has huge potential. And I'm gonna shed light on a few reasons as to why this is now. So the first reason, and this is honestly an absolute gift from a growth point, is the fact that there are few applications right now on Abstract. There are maybe 20 to 25 applications that get put in front of people to go and play around with, a lot of them being games. So if you can launch an application on Abstract, and you already have over 3 million on-chain wallets connected to Abstract, you have access to those people. You're one of 25 or 30 apps that people can use. You could gain hundreds of thousands of users on your product. And by having this amount of users, it's cost you nothing, right? Web2 companies pay hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to be able to get that sort of traction, and you can get it for free on Abstract right now. So if you're bootstrapping a project, and again, you don't have that humongous budget, you can go and get over that cold start problem, getting your first few users by launching on Abstract. This leads me on to the second point, which is being in a less noisy ecosystem. Now, if you launch on a bigger chain, you could be one of 1,000 projects launching that week or within that month. On Abstract, you're going to be one of maybe a dozen projects. And therefore, being able to stand out in the ecosystem and gain eyes and gain attention is much, much easier. And let's not forget that Abstract have an amazing community. And this brings me on to my third point, which is how supportive the Abstract ecosystem is. Abstract, Pudgy, this community that has been nurtured together, are super supportive of anyone that's coming onto Abstract and trying to do good things. They're real believers in the vision and the technology, and they're right to be, because it's the team behind Pudgy, and look at what they managed to do. So any project coming in can get the support of a community and actually get in front of that community as well, because right now the ecosystem is less noisy. And this brings me on probably to my fourth point now, which is in 6 to 12 months time, on Abstract, there might be 100, 200, 500, 1,000 apps. The point is, it's going to be a much noisier ecosystem, especially when things like the airdrop start to beckon on the ecosystem. Liquidity starts to move over. When all of these things happen, it's going to be much harder to stand out on Abstract. So now for a builder coming onto Abstract, it's the perfect time if you're going to do it. And the final point here, because otherwise I could go on all day, is that the team on Abstract seem to be really supportive of builders. One of the coins on Abstract last week took a bit of a dive, and Luca went and bought some of that coin to give it a bit of support and show that, Abstract are supporting their project. And this is massive. When do you see that on other chains? Abstract don't just put the community first in terms of individual participants, but the community of builders. So there's a ton of points around why I think Abstract is a great opportunity for anyone in the crypto trenches right now, and also any builder looking to bring something to market, why they might choose Abstract as their potential home. And I just want to say that I have no formal affiliation with Abstract. This is not a paid sponsorship whatsoever. I'm simply just trying to do my job. And for the past 4 years, my job has been to help projects launch and grow in crypto. And via my company Magnet, which is Web3's growth engine, we've worked with dozens of projects over the last 4 years with combined market capitalization north of $1 billion. And I love to stay on the forefront of growth in crypto. I wrote about the Magnet method, a framework for growth that I invented, and I published it as a book, and it became a bestseller. I live and breathe growth in this market, and I felt completely compelled to make this video because I see such a big growth opportunity right now with Abstract. We're telling our builders about it. We're helping builders on Abstract as well grow on their ecosystem. So why not share the message further? But anyway, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you watching the video and supporting. It means a lot. Just trying to spread a message, an opportunity. I might be right, I might be wrong. I don't know yet. Time will tell. But the main thing is I'm sharing what I'm seeing. And as always, this is not financial advice, and this is purely just my opinion. And finally, if you know anyone who is looking to launch their project right now, Abstract could be a good opportunity for them, as I outlined here. My company at Magnet, we offer free growth sessions for builders. So drop a comment on this video wherever you see it. We'll give you a link, send it to that friend or use it yourself. Let's have a chat and we'll tell you whether, in our opinion, we think Abstract is the right fit for you, or maybe there's a different growth strategy that will be good for your project. Peace.